Hey everyone, welcome to this week's AMA with the WhalemakerDAO. My name is Book Nerd. I think when I was born, my name was Roger, but I've lost that somewhere along the way. We're going to do a quick review to make sure that we are live everywhere. We are good on Twitch. We are good on YouTube. Yep, it says live. Twitter. We are live on Twitter and Facebook. Go over here. We are live in no title, no tag. So give me a second. Join. Yep. I don't know which one's which. Okay, so we'll leave that alone. All right. So, in keeping with the theme of our audience, we are going to be talking with Tanner Larson from Mech.Game today. He is going to be showing us some really cool shit and why you're actually here. And I'm hoping, team on Twitter, that our feed also lists that we're going to be giving away 5 whitelist spots for Mech.Game off of our Twitter feed. So you'll just want to retweet the tweet in order to enter. We've also got 5 whitelist spots available over in the Seeking Alpha Discord, if we can drop the link to that. And lastly, we've got 5 whitelist spots available for our whale shark holders over in Seeking Alpha. This is going to be a big game. It's got some big backers. In fact, we might even have a funny story about accidentally turning down a big backer without saying their name, and how that's led to a lot of attention for this game and why you're going to want to be involved. But before we do that, quick disclaimer. Nothing that we're going to talk about today on this call is considered to be financial advice, legal advice, or accounting advice. If you're looking for that, talk to your lawyer, talk to your CPA, or talk to your financial planner. We are just going to be bullshitting about games, the NFT space, and the crypto space today. Everything that we're going to be talking about is our personal opinion. In fact, if you're smart, don't listen to a damn thing that we say. Go figure it out on your own, enjoy life, and maybe you'll learn a little bit. And with that, Tanner, I want to turn it over to you. How are you today?
Awesome. Doing great. Excited to be here. I mean, I really like you guys though, because it is 7 a.m. right now, my time. So I'm giving up my gym session to be here with you guys right now. So just goes to show that I do like you guys.
We appreciate that.
Awesome. So this is my first time on was it Restream or Reststream, whatever it's called, but this is actually a pretty cool platform. I like it.
We're just getting up to speed with it, and it's working. I think that we're learning how to use it, and the more that we learn, the more value we're going to get out of it. It's a pretty badass platform.
Yeah, it seems awesome. I mean, I'm obviously used a bunch of the other ones, but I like the concept here. All right, guys. So again, like Roger, Mr. Book Nerd said, that my name's Tanner. Tanner Larson. I am I'm not, just to kick things off in a weird way, in a disclaimer kind of way, I am not a crypto NFT or any kind of expert like that. Like I am in the crypto space. I've been in the crypto space since 2016 or end of 16, early 17. Rode the big wave up, rode it all the way to the ground, and then have been in it ever since. But my true skill set and experience comes from the business world, where I have been building companies, selling companies, doing all kinds of stuff like that for the past 20 years. Have been quite successful at that. And that's kind of where everything came from. But I'm also a closet gamer. I call myself a closet gamer because I'm the kind of guy that if I let myself game the way I want to, I would have no life and I would not have a business or be successful. So I have to kind of control that. So I call myself a closet gamer. But I do love gaming. I've always wanted to basically build my own game, create my own stuff and all of that, because I am also a creator. I like to build things. And I just never felt the timing was right until watching kind of what I believe is the perfect storm happen in the blockchain gaming, the crypto gaming space, which I believe is the next big boom area. But I started seeing obviously play to earn games take off, which is awesome. Then I started seeing the technology from the blockchain side coming into play. And the problem that I saw was, that just like in a regular game, you don't, you play World of Warcraft, you play whatever, you play for 6 months, whatever, but all that time that you spent in the game is lost if you decide to quit because you don't own anything in the game. And then NFTs come along, right? And NFTs at first, I'll admit, I'm like, these things are stupid. Why do I want a pixelated ape? Which I now own CyberCon. So apparently I did need a pixelated ape. But at the time I didn't get it. But once I realized the value of having the NFT technology allow for player-owned assets, player-owned characters, in-game items, and allowing the player to actually own that, I was like, holy crap. We got the player-owned assets. We've got play-to-earn economics. We've got crypto, blockchain, decentralized everything. This is the perfect storm. And that was when I decided, hey, it's time for me to get into gaming. So that's kind of how it all started. I've got a lot of stuff to share with you guys. Pictures, images, slide PowerPoints, all that kind of stuff. We can go through all of it. I'll pull up my website in just a second, but I really want you guys to know this is super interactive. I don't want to just be talking at you. So any questions you have, anything you would like further info on, throw it in the chat. I am pretty good at catching it on the fly and feeding it in. So please hit me with questions. The more interactive you are, I'm kind of a diva. So the more interactive you are, the more fun I have, and the more tangents I go on and the more stuff I spill, which obviously is good for you because you guys get to find out all the inner details and different stuff like that. So
one thing I want to do, I love that fact of this interactivity. So why don't we do this? Whoever asks the best question, the most engaging question, the one that Tanner goes, oh shit, that's a good question, we're going to drop you a whitelist spot for this project. So perfect. You want to jump in, you want to get involved. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely. That sounds great. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen just so you guys know what Mech.Game is and have a kind of an idea of where we're going and what we're talking about. Let's see. How do we do this? Share screen. All right. You guys should see my face, right? Okay. Yep. I think that you guys seen that. Whoa, there we go. Okay. Can you see the website now? Is it loading for everybody? I have no idea.
Yep, it's good.
We're good.
Okay. Awesome. Good deal. All right, guys. So this is Mech.Game. We'll kind of, basically the concept here is a mechanized combat game, which we'll get into in a second, but you can kind of get an idea of what we do. So game ready, 3D mechanized NFTs. And I'll just kind of scroll through real quick. I highly encourage you guys to check out the website. We do have a full game trailer and everything on the website, and the website is just mech.game. Okay. But this is not your average NFT collection. The overall collection is 10,000 handcrafted NFTs. 9,987 of them will be generative. The other 13 will be legendary one-of-ones. And you can see here, we've got 8 different models. So 8 different mech models in the collection, 16 upgradable game performance attributes that will actually impact your gameplay that are upgradable on the blockchain with IFPS, 13 different traits per mech, which gives us a possible combination of over 7.6 billion different combinations when we do the generative aspect. And then the mechs themselves are actual 3D. Let's see if this loads on when we're sharing screens right now. This is what one of the mechs might look like. If it's kind of lagging here, but they're actually 3-dimensional. And you come to the website, you can manipulate these and drag and drop and move them around, zoom in on them. But you can see they're insanely detailed. And this is what you'll actually be getting when we launch the Genesis collection, which is a starting collection for the game. And these are what your characters will look like in the game. Okay, so we've got 8 different models. Let's see, it might not be a good idea to show this right now because of the lag. Let's see. All right, well, of course, as soon as so you can see they have all kinds of different things, different weapons, different missiles, launchers, whatever, color combinations. This one's got the biohazard skull on it, different things like that. Even up their skirts, they look pretty good too. And all of that. So those are kind of what the mechs look like. Again, go to the website, check them out. There's a lot of benefits to the Genesis collection, which we can talk about later. And again, you guys can see those here. One of our big things is we're big on giving back. I'm a huge supporter of Operation Underground Railroad. I've personally donated millions of dollars to these guys over the years, and I've tied our game to this charity as well, because what they do is they support and save children from sex slavery and human trafficking, and they've done a fantastic job of doing it all around the world. and the money that you donate to them actually goes to the kids and goes to the operations that save these kids. So we're going to be donating a big chunk of money off of the collection launch, and then a percentage of the game revenue and everything will be going to Operation Underground Railroad. So basically, whenever you purchase a Mech NFT or you play a game on Mech.Game, you're directly supporting a really fantastic organization that helps save children. So you get to play the game and do a good deed without even intending to do a good deed. So our kind of vision for this game is where NFTs meet blockchain, meet decentralized finance, plus play to earn, plus WebGL, and I believe that equals the future. WebGL meaning the game will be browser-based and playable in the browser, so you don't have to have any complicated gaming platform or anything like that. And then the other elements are what are important to kind of bring together a good element for a gaming piece. Now, there is a letter from the founder here on the website. I would recommend that you guys check that out if you're interested. It will give you some really good insight into me and why I am creating the game. Team-wise, we've got a really solid team. We've got a fairly good-sized team, but a couple of the important things. So Caleb heads up our Solidity team. He's our blockchain developer team. These are the same guys that literally created Neo Tokyo. They wrote every single line of code for Neo Tokyo. They're the #1 Solidity team in the space. And they are part of our project. Plus, they're mech fanatics. They were one of the early supporters of the game. Like, this is awesome. We love mechs. How do we get involved? Perkins is part of that. And then Tib, he is our level designer and gameplay coordinator. He's been with Ubisoft for 3+ years. He just left. He also built, Ghost Recon and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So he's got an amazing AAA level of play and knows how to create those games. He's also been amazing because he's brought a lot of talent over to our team from the AAA space to work with us. So we actually have an in-house gaming team that we've built to create this game. We've got our own visual and 3D artists and all of that kind of stuff with the team. Partners are coming on board. Roadmap. Currently in the roadmap, we are at the pre-launch phase. We've got websites out. We're doing pre-launch promotions, getting ready for our whitelist, pre-sale, and public mint, and all kinds of cool jazz like that. But you can kind of get a feel for what the website looks like on that. But what I really wanted to do is just real quick go through that, and now we'll jump into a few questions. So how long has the game been under development? We've been going for about 5 months or so on this. We will actually have a MVP of the game within a few months, which is pretty crazy for the game world. You can definitely play it with a youngster. Are there rarer types of mechs than others? Yes, absolutely. So as I said, there are 8 different models of mech in the Genesis collection. Okay, now that's obviously just the first collection. We'll have others as well, but there are 8 models. Each of the 8 models have different circulation. So the Maverick only has 500 out of 10,000. Okay, then the Stalker only has 750 out of 10,000. Then the Vanguard has 1,000 out of 10,000, and so on and so forth. So yeah, there are different rarity of mechs based on circulation, cosmetic trait type stuff for normal rarity stuff. Yes, there's that. There's also weapons configuration, game stats, game performance things. So lots of different things that will impact the rarity. Now, of course, the most rare mechs in the Genesis collection will be the 13 Genesis 1-of-1s. Based on cosmetics, weapons, everything. They'll have a little bit better game stats and things like that. The Genesis collection as a whole will have better game stats than all other future collections base stats. Everybody will be able to upgrade their mech and make them better, but the Genesis collection, as one of their perks, will have better stats than everybody else. And this, yes, skill-based game. So let's talk about the game for a second. We were joking about this before the call. Because I kind of made a tongue-in-cheek comment that, I don't like play-to-earn games, yet I'm building one. And so they're like, what? And so let me kind of talk about that. So the reality is that in the current play-to-earn space, play-to-earn games suck, right? They are not fun. They barely can be even called games. If you think about them, like you click a button, a computer decides what happens, and it says, hey, you won or you lost. It's basically gambling dressed up as a game with an NFT attached to it. So they're not fun, they're not enjoyable, and they're not truly games, right? Now, I love the play to earn aspect of it, but the gaming side. Now, I'm a big believer in blockchain, and I want adoption to happen. And there's a big thing that I believe is happening where the next wave of adoption in the crypto space to mainstream and normalize it is going to come from the gaming crowd. Okay. But the only way to get the gamers, the real gamers, to come over and play in the crypto space is to build games that are actually fun to play, that they would want to play. So that's my goal. We are building a skill-based game that is fun to play, even if there was, and you would play it, even if there was no P to E. But so now instead of play to earn, it's play and earn, right? So we're building a game that is actually a game first with solid DeFi play to earn fundamentals built into it as well. And yes, if you play the game correctly, you follow the thing, you can make money off of it. You will make money off of it, and you can, do all the fun stuff that we like to do in the play to earn games, right? So skill based is crazy. So let's talk about the game itself for a second, okay? Important thing about the game is I didn't just pick this out of thin air to create it. Again, my skill set is business, and I'm a big believer in when you move into a new market or you want to create something, you don't want to build in what's called a red ocean. You need to kind of figure out your way of creating a blue ocean, which means you're not in a super over competitive, congested space, and you can find a new area that gives you a unique place to play. Okay. Now, some people in the current people in the play to earn space, especially like the Filipino scholars and the people like that, yeah, they only care about the P to E aspect. But if we want to bring mass adoption and really real long-term stability for a game, it has to be fun to play. Games that are not, if you look at the play to earn model right now, most of these games don't survive for very long because there's nothing else besides the play to earn mechanics. There's nothing to keep them stable, right? Nobody plays them just out of enjoyment. Okay. So anyway, back to how the game came to be. I started doing research the same way I would do a business, which I guess this is I started researching. Okay. And I started looking for different gaming demographics and things like that. And I found that the mech gaming crowd, which I used to play Mech Warrior, which was cool, but was actually a very passionate and sizable audience of gamers that love mechs. Now, one of their frustrations in that space is that there are no variety of games. All mech games seem to focus around mech versus mech combat, right? Which gets kind of boring. And so they were like, man, we want something else. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's something I could probably work with. Then I kept digging and I started looking at the tower defense crowd. Now, tower defense is another hugely popular type of game with a massive following, massive appeal for streamers, YouTubers, things like that. Lots of fun, can be skill-based, depending on the type of tower defense game it is. And they're very, very passionate as well. And then I also found out that there is a massive overlap between tower defense players and mech players, as in mech players love tower defense games as well. And so there's this great kind of mixing of the two audiences. So I said, hey, what if we created a tower defense game that layers in mech? So a mechified tower defense game. And that's what Mech.Game is. It will create a tower defense game where you will have a base and you will build towers. You will also mine resources to give it a strategy element, so you're not just point and clicking. And while the resources mined are going to be what will fund your ability to build towers, and then your mechs will come in the game as a hero character that are mobile and can run around, support the towers, fight the enemies, defend your base, as well as support your mining operations in order to produce revenue for your game. Right. So this is the model of the game. So you can look at it as a tower defense mixed with top-down shooter. And the early feedback on it has been phenomenal. And on top of that, you'll earn experience points and every experience points add up to moving up in levels. Every time you reach a new level, you'll also earn stat points, which you'll actually be able to free spend on increasing your skills in the game, your different stats. And on top of that, you'll earn credits, which are the in-game currency. And I will talk about the dual token economy in a second. That will be your way to earn, and then the potential to earn other in-game NFTs or different things based on skill levels, what you do in the level, what side quests you complete, and things like that. So that's kind of the general overview of kind of how the game works. So I see Heiko says, great idea. I love tower defense. How's that sound to you guys so far? Making sense? You guys with me? Yes, go to the website, guys. You can check out the white papers. And I'll tell you, there's actually 2 white papers. There's a link to the second white paper hidden in the first white paper. We left it that way kind of as an Easter egg type of thing where you have to pay attention to find it. But if you do, it'll tell you a lot more about the actual game. The tokenomics is going to have a dual token economy. All right, we're going to have similar to Axie and some of the other games. So again, link for tokenomics is in the white paper. Go to the website. You can link to the white paper 1. And then in the white paper 1, if you pay attention, you'll see a link to white paper 2 that will give you even more. But tokenomics are in level 1 of the white paper. So our dual token economy is similar to kind of an Axie in just the way we have 2 tokens. So we have our Mech token, which is our governance token, which if you were comparing it to Axie would be the Axie shard, right? We have our credits token, which is the in-game currency, which would compare to SLP, right? Now our tokenomics, we got lucky, and that comes into Roger's story, but we kind of get lucky with, yeah, it's true. Axie's not a great example. But yeah, the reason we chose a dual token economy was I had a single token economy originally, and I actually wound up on the phone, on a phone call with the tokenomics team for Animoca. And Animoca's guys went through and they're like, dude, this is awesome. It's stable. We love it, what you're doing, but you really should have a dual token economy so that we can, and they gave me a whole bunch of reasons, but basically it comes down to building a stabilized economy and being able to separate the burn to mint ratio, which is important for scholars on the in-game currency, from the governance token, which can have the higher valuation and be used for breeding, for forging, and for all of that. So that's why we actually changed into a dual token economy. And so that's basically where that came from, right? So the idea there is the same function, the same thing. Pegasus doing the same thing right now, and a lot of the other games are doing in that, like Sidus, Star Atlas, those different ones will have dual token economies as well. So anyway, that's the stable concept of the dual token economy. Trying to read questions as I talk, and I'm fumbling. All right, so seeing interesting partners. What chain are you launching the game on? Okay, so the game itself will be on a side chain, but our NFTs will live on Ethereum. Ethereum obviously is the largest market, and for evaluation of your NFTs and the ability for them to retain their value, go up in value at the highest, and have the biggest buying pool, we need to keep it on Ethereum. For the game, though, for game interactions, it will be on a side chain. We're currently testing AVAX and Polygon are the top 2. We're looking at Hedera as well, and we were just introduced to some guys over at Stark. So we'll be checking that out. The side chain will happen for all interactions like that. The game itself, though, will live. Actually, you know what? Arbitrum is one that was brought to our attention. We have not had time to really look at that one yet. But the game itself will live off chain. So blockchain in most regards right now has not, everybody loves the concept of an all on chain game, but for a highly interactive game right now, an all on chain game is kind of cost prohibitive and not as ideal as it should be. So the game interactions will be predominantly off chain, and then, it will interact with the blockchain for all, key interactions that are important, tokens, game stats, things like that. And then the game is built in such a way that when technology from blockchain really does make the ability to have a full on-chain game feasible at all levels, the game can roll over and be built completely on-chain. But for right now, all game interactions, the regular gameplay will happen in a browser, off-chain. Core interactions will happen on-chain. Let's see. Yes. Will the game have a free-to-play concept? Yes. So free-to-play concept also gets abused and breaks the economy. 100% true. So let's dive into that. Why? Yes. First of all, one of the problems with play-to-earn games right now is that in the play-to-earn model, the growth of the game gets stagnant and can stall out once the cost to enter becomes prohibitive. And obviously, we got to kind of play that game so that everybody can make money as well. So a free-to-play model is actually very important to building a long-term game that has fresh players constantly coming in. But like you said, I can't pronounce your name, but like you said, they do abuse the economy and they break the economy. Absolutely. So what we did was we actually do have a free-to-play side, but the free-to-play does not participate in the play-to-earn economics. Okay. In the game, you have tons of player-owned assets that you're going to have, including your mechs and other characters. But on the play-to-earn side, there are 2 required NFTs to allow you to participate in the play-to-earn side. One is a mech, and the other one is the stronghold, which is your base. So in a tower defense, you always have a base, right? The base controls the game, builds the towers, all of that stuff. So you'll own both of those NFTs. The NFT stronghold is the required aspect in order to be able to participate in the play to earn. If you're on the free to play side, you can mint what we call a gratis mech, gratis as in free, right? From the game. It's a very base mech, not super exciting or anything like that, but it's playable, and they will not have a stronghold. They'll have a computer AI stronghold when they play the game. They'll be able to play. They only earn experience points, okay? So they are still able to level up their mech through just regular grinding and play to make experience points, right? They level up. Now, they do have the ability, if they want, to try to sell that mech on the marketplace. If people want to buy it, that's great. If they play it long enough and they upgrade it enough. Otherwise, people are just going to continue buying the regular mechs. Now, if they want to move over to the play to earn side, they'll have to buy a stronghold from the marketplace. Once they buy a stronghold, boom, they move over into the play to earn side, and now they can start earning. Now, the other thing, because I'm a marketer and a business guy, and I'm kind of in the head like that, we're going to, on the play to earn side, every play to earn player is going to, in their face, know exactly how much money they're not making by being on the play to earn side. So when they complete a level, it's going to show, hey, you got this many experience points, and here's what you missed out on because you don't own a stronghold. So we're going to encourage them to move over. Now, the only place to get a stronghold is from the marketplace. So the only place to get strongholds from before that is going to come from our Genesis NFT holders, right? Because the Genesis NFT holders will be able to be automatically whitelisted and be able to buy strongholds. And so they will seed the marketplace when the game goes live. And then later on, there will be forging and the ability to build, or forge new strongholds, new mechs and things like that. But yes, you got to keep the play to earn and the free to play model separate. But I do believe, and along with most of the VCs and big gaming advisors we've been talking with, agree that a free to play model is very important for onboarding continual players and giving them a way that they can potentially profit by selling their item on the marketplace. The other thing is free to play has a lower ability of finding things, but they can still find other in-game NFTs by completing side quests or completing certain levels, and they can then take those NFTs and sell them on the marketplace as well. So there's the other types of things like shield generators or all kinds of accessories and things like that that can help the mechs in the combat or help the other parts of the game that can be earned or found in the game. But they will have a much lower threshold or chance of finding those things because they're a gratis mech. They're not part of the play to earn side. Awesome. Okay, let me grab a drink. Yeah, great. So how are you planning on getting a game to MVP so fast? This is lightning fast for the game industry. Okay, so part of it comes from the background. We thought very carefully about how we were going to build this. So I also have a software development background, and I know how to build software. Okay, games are basically software in a different format, right? So one of the things that we looked at was what type of game would we build? Okay, and the problem there was everybody is building open world games, metaverse games, things like that. Now, of course, we're going to play in the metaverse, but open world games are very complicated in terms of size. They take a lot of scope and a lot of resources to build. They're slow to build. That's why there's none of these games that are really cranking out the open world stuff fast. Okay, so what we looked at was we said, okay, we don't want us to launch a collection and then be like, okay, 12 months from now, you'll be able to play with these NFTs. Like that sucks, right? We wanted to do something quicker. So we're like, how can we develop this? Now we looked at it and we said, hey, tower defense games don't necessarily need an open world concept to be fun. Okay, yes, that'd be cool later on, but right now we don't need it. What we want is something that we can build on quickly, add to, and expand over time without hurting the core gameplay. So what we decided to do was take a level-based approach, which is more like, say, a Diablo 2 or a StarCraft approach where you're playing levels and campaigns and things like that. And we can roll out MVP or alpha. I call it MVP, but this gaming world calls them alpha, crypto world. We can roll that out with a limited set of levels, base functionality, all of that, and then continuously add new functionality and levels on top of it. So the initial MVP will not be a 30 or 40 level game with all this crazy stuff. It will be all the core functionality and a few levels that you can continuously play over and over again, and while we continue to add new levels and things like that. Also, adding levels, adding campaign story elements, things like that in a game like this are much, much easier than adding in something like that to an open world where there's more trigger points and things that have to tie in. We've got the AAA game designers and level designers that know how to do this stuff, and they're like, yeah, this allows us to basically stack and build very, very quickly. And so that's why we're building it the way we are. And of course, there's certain functionalities that will not be rolled out instantly. Like we are doing we've been working with some different guilds and making sure we're going to build in our own scholarship and scholar program that allows guilds to manage their own scholarship teams from within the game without having to use third-party software. And we're trying to make sure that that's stable. There will also be, for the regular players, there will also be renting and leasing type of stuff built in as well, where you'll be able to say, I've got an extra stronghold, I want to rent it for 0.5 ETH, or I want to rent it for a percentage of the revenue generated by the game and all the experience points and stuff. So you can set those up on the fly within the game. Now, the full guild functionality, that will take a little bit longer to roll out. So MVP does not mean every whiz-bang feature. It's literally just a functional game that you guys can play where we can start rolling out. And the Genesis mechs will also get early alpha access to that and, basically get to roll through and play the game before the rest of the world. So will it be a purely player versus environment? So yeah, PvE is the main gameplay. The next rollout on that from PvE will be multiplayer PvE. Okay, so you'd be able to play multiple players against the computer. Now, if you think about a play to earn game, a play to tower defense game, there's the player and then there's swarms of enemies, right? So if we did a P2P or PvP, one of you would have to be the swarms of enemies. Okay, which everybody wants to play their mech. That doesn't make sense. So it's going to be player versus environment or multiplayer versus environment. It will be the way we build that game out. We do have some dueling functionality where you'll be able to fight your mechs in what we call the cauldron, but that is a later development as well. Let's see. So yeah, it will be, like I said, the device will be a WebGL, so it will be a browser-based game. We also, after the browser-based game is released, we will roll into mobile. So you'll be able to play it on a mobile device as well. But the main focus will be on a WebGL browser-based game. It allows us to do better graphics and more functionality in the game. How will we protect against bots? Yeah, farming bots. So we've got a lot of different, I'm really not going to go into super detail on that, but we do have some pretty intelligent game people on our side that have been advising us on how to protect against farming and bots. So we're building in different features into the game like that. There will also be cooldown periods, and one of the big things is your mechs also have a damage ratio. So you have a health meter of 100 points. So when your health drops below 50%, you cannot play the next level. You can finish the level you're in, but you can't play another level. So you'll have to repair or wait a specific amount of time in order to do that. That's one way where we'll just keep people from grinding all the time. There'll also be caps. All play to earn games, whether it's published or not, have a cap on daily earnings of what's allowed at whatever level. So we'll also have that. We can fluctuate and monitor that based on what makes sense for the game. Obviously, as the game develops, we'll have to adjust and modulate different things. Now, the back end of our game, we're building in an admin system where we'll be able to adjust different ratios, algorithms, and things that impact the token, that impact the cooldown periods, that impact all that stuff from one dashboard without having to go in and like take the game offline or do any kind of crazy patchwork. We just decided we're going to do that because we know those changes are going to happen. We're watching other games have to deal with that as well. But yeah, so that'll be a big part of it. Now, the other part about the repairing is, so if your health is below 50%, you can't advance. But let's say you finish the level at 80% of your mech. Okay, you can move into the next level if you want without healing, but just know that you're going to start at 20 points down in health. So you have to know, are you skilled enough to play? Because if you play the level, nothing gets destroyed, okay? Because obviously you own the NFT and you'd be pretty pissed if we destroyed it and it was gone. So what happens is it becomes incapacitated when the damage reaches 0. So if your stronghold in a level goes down to 0, you lose the level and you can't play again until it's repaired. If your mech goes down to 0 in the level, you can continue playing. And if you can beat the level with just the towers, you can still win the level. But again, you won't be able to play the next level till you repair. So burning mechanisms, we'll have a whole bunch of different ones that are tied into the game. One of them will be tied to repairing your mech. It'll cost credits to repair your mech. One of the biggest things with in-game currencies is that the scholars, which we love scholars that want to play and all that, they're also the biggest problem with maintaining token value because they don't want to spend their tokens. They just want to sell them on the market because they're using it for an income stream. So we have to build in levels of play where it encourages and almost requires scholars to spend at least some of their earned credits in the game so that they will have to maintain that, help us maintain a better mint to burn ratio. We actually won't be burning either. Our legal team and Animoca's legal team and a couple other big teams have told us, do not use burning. Because that is just more issue on the security side. Instead, all we'll do is all tokens that are technically burned will just go into a time-locked wallet is unaccessible. So just a difference of verbiage and terminology, but that's one of the things we will be doing. But yeah, so you'll be able to upgrade mechs. You'll need to spend credits in order to upgrade. You'll spend credits in order to breed or forge new items. You'll use credits to unlock specific levels of gameplay that you want that will allow you to advance and do other things. You'll also use them to repair, and there's about 10 or 15 other different ways that credits will be leveraged. So no, these mechs are not pilot driven. These are autonomous mechs. Okay, so our mechs stand about 2x or 2 times taller than the average, human character or Siduri character. So they're not piloted, they're autonomous, okay? There will be piloted mechs in an advanced version of the game as we roll out called Titans. That'll be piloted by the commander, which is another optional character that will be released into the game later on. But no, these mechs are autonomous, and that's intentional based on the way the gameplay is going to work. And you can read the white paper to kind of get a better understanding of why that specific thing is. And then we will have, this game lends itself very well to streaming. So we will actually be building in incentives for gamers who want to stream their gameplay. So we'll do that on Twitch and some of the other platforms, and also be doing contests and tournaments and things like that, because the whole game lends itself very, very well to those kind of dynamics. And also we can have specialized level contests where it's like, hey, we're all going to play this level and see who gets the best score on it, or finds does whatever it takes to find the special NFTs that we hide in there. And those we can control randomized spawn points and things like that to also prevent botting and farming. So people can't just play the same level, do the exact same thing over and over again and keep getting the same NFTs. Alvarez, what's the substance of the Byte partnership? There's some things you probably can't say. Yes, there's some things I can't say. So Byte, yes, Byte is a marketplace that's launching. They're launching their Ethereum marketplace very, 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 very quickly. And I do have some deep relations with that platform. But the big thing is Byte also is owned by my Solidity team. So there's some deep integrations between our game, all our sideline NFTs and everything like that. So our marketplace will be standalone, but you'll also be able to on Byte. So if your mech NFT has a bunch of accessories and things like that, when you'll be able to see those on Byte, because we'll be able to do very customized listings and products. So you could bundle and do all kinds of cool stuff with that. So they're going to be using mech as their guinea pig for game customization of a marketplace to allow for multiple NFTs to kind of work in place there. So there's some pretty cool functionality there. And of course, we've also partnered with RarityMon, which is the most statistically relevant and accurate rarity tool out there. RarityMon is 100% integrated with Byte. So you'll have built-in rarity as soon as you view the item on Byte. You won't have to go jumping back and forth. And you'll be able to control and look and search and hunt and do all the little rarity stuff we like to do right there from the marketplace. Also, our marketplace will also have all the rarity functionality from Byte built into it on the Mech.Game marketplace, as well as in our Discord and all of those different places. Will all Mechs NFTs have rarity? Yes, all Mech will have rarity. Also, all strongholds will have rarity. There's 13 different rarity traits, base rarity traits that will be utilized to calculate the base rarity, but also weapons configuration, base game stats, and things like that will also play into the rarity calculation.
I'm going to hop in for 1 second before you do the next question. This Q&A is freaking awesome. It's like one of the most active Q&As we've had. So that everybody knows, in 2 minutes, we are going to be launching the 5 whitelist spot giveaway over for people that have retweeted our post over on Twitter. So if you haven't done that yet, you've got like 60 freaking seconds to get over there before we run the bot to pick those. It is run by a tool, so there's no way for it to be manipulated, and we will instantly publish those winners on Twitter. Then join over to our Seeking Alpha Discord, and we will get you on that list and get it over to Tanner and his team so you are ready for that drop. Tanner, when is the drop?
So the NFT Genesis Collection launch is going to be in March. We're looking at like the second week of March right now. We are being advised to keep it kind of loosey-goosey right now as we watch what ETH and what the market is doing, crypto versus NFT, but it's going to be in March for sure. So you guys are not too far out on making that happen.
Awesome.
So on that, we'll touch on that for a second. The whitelist, we're going to allow the whitelisters to all mint up to 3 mechs. Then we'll go to public after that. We'll have a fixed price on the mint, of course, all of that stuff. No bonding curve, no Dutch auction or anything like that. Genesis Mech NFTs also, there's going to be an airdrop. You guys are the first people that I've told that that's happening. It is, and the airdrop is actually for another in-game item, a controllable in-game item. I can't tell you what it is because it's pretty damn cool, but it will be the most rare item in the entire game because there will only be 10,000 of them ever. And it's just this one airdrop. So all Genesis Mech NFTs will get one. It will come, if you have 2 mechs, you're going to get 2. But now there will always be more mechs. There won't be more Genesis mechs, and there will always be more strongholds because obviously the game has to grow and you guys are going to create more of them and sell them on the marketplace. But this airdrop of these 10,000 items or controllable asset in the game will only be 10,000 ever. So I foresee, especially the way these will be used in the game, which the way they'll be used is if you have one, you can use it on your load screen before you move into the next level. You'll be able to select what you want to bring with you, and you'll be able to select that item. It's going to become more rare and more valuable than a lot of the mechs and other items in the game. It's just really awesome. So that's going to be the first thing that's coming out. Then other Genesis benefits are your stats are better. You get early access to the game. You'll also get to participate in a pre-launch of the token. When the Mech token goes live, just like the VCs get to buy them before they go to the public market, Genesis Mech holders will get to have a chance to grab some as well at a low valuation compared to what the public launch will go for. And you'll also get your guaranteed access to whitelists and everything else for what's coming. So like the Stronghold is the next collection that has to come out before the game. So you'll need a stronghold for yourself. But what I want is all Genesis Mech holders, you're the founders. You're the ones who should build and profit the most from the game. So you'll have the ability to mint multiple strongholds. So you'll have one for yourself, which obviously those will have rarity. You can pick whichever one you like. You can then rent out the other ones, or you could immediately turn them for sale on the marketplace and start profiting that way. So you guys will have first dibs on that, and any other future collections. Genesis mechs always get first dibs on that stuff. Plus, when it comes into the forging and the breeding functionalities that'll happen, later on in the game, if you forge with the Genesis mechs and you have that, you're going to get better mechs out of it. Just like having when you make a clone, the clone of the clone is less good than the clone of the original, right? Same concept. So yeah, you definitely want the Genesis mechs. They're going to be awesome. in terms of what they have, and they'll be way more upgraded than the other ones.
Our Twitter winners were just posted to
Awesome.
the Tweeter bots. If you are one of those 5 people, Jordan, if you can drop the link to our Seeking Alpha Discord, they can come in, let us know that they're here. We'll have them do a tweet. We'll get them onto the whitelist. Let's make sure that's all ready. And that Tyke has that Google Doc ready. We'll give them their status. And then if you missed the Twitter retweet giveaway, don't forget there are 5 more available over in the Seeking Alpha Discord channel, which Jordan is about to drop the link for. And then you can also go into the Mech Discord and see what they've got going on in there. There's a great community. People are really active. There's a lot of conversations going on, and there may be some ways for you to earn your spots over there directly in the community.
Absolutely. So the other thing I wanted to touch on, because I'd feel bad if I didn't, would be the I got something lip fur stuck to my mouth. Was kind of the Roger, allusion to the whole like turning down VCs and things like that. So this project, I originally launched this project with no intention of going the VC route. I didn't need it. I have the funds. I was able to, I could launch this project, self-fund the whole thing, which was great. And that's what we were doing. I got connected through some friends of mine to this guy named Steve. And I got on a call with this guy named Steve, and we started talking, and started telling me kind of why I should look into the VC route and all of that kind of thing. And then he's like, this game is awesome. I really like it. We want to get involved. Want to give you some money. And I'm like, whoa, I don't need any money. And I was like, I don't know. That's weird. So anyway, ended the call after that. And we were just kind of went on with it. My buddy calls me and he goes, hey, did you just turn down money from Animoca? I'm like, who's Animoca? At the time, I didn't know really anything about that. And so it turns out that, I was on the phone with one of the guys who's in charge of Animoca's funds, and they were interested in being a part of the game. So that spearheaded kind of the start, and we started talking with them again, and they're like, hey, you don't need money. What you need with these VCs is you need the connections and the communities and all the other assets and technology that they can bring to the table. Yes, they can give you more money, but it's really not that. And since you actually don't need money, you can be much more restrictive on the type of VCs that you allow in, because there's obviously good VCs and there's bad VCs, VCs that don't care about anything more than just dumping the token after the launch. And you don't want those, and since you don't need the money, you don't have to worry about those, and you can really go after the top tier VCs who actually bring a lot of assets and value to the table, and those connections are what you want. And I was like, all right, I totally buy into that. And so we started looking at it, and that connection led to a few other connections, and started working with a couple of people that helped us map out our cap table, and started introducing us to VCs and everything else. And so now we've got a lot of VCs on the table that are wanting to be involved and back the game and help incubate and things like that. Which is, funnily enough, I was talking with Mr. Block, Chris, his name is Mr. Block online, and he's like, hey, you got to meet this guy, Brian, from another fund called IVC. And then, so that was happening. And then I started getting connected through another friend who goes, hey, you got to know this guy named Roger. You got to talk to Roger. He's big in this space, and he has this thing called Whalemaker. And I'm like, okay. And that was it, just first name stuff. So I get connected to Roger. We get on a call and we're like, hey, we actually know each other, because we've known each other from the regular business world, but the lack of connections on last names and stuff, we didn't realize that we were going to see each other. And then Roger, it turns out, also works with IVC and Brian. So it's just been this one loopy small world. But the VC side of things is going very, very well. We've got a lot of engagement and involvement there, which is going to only make the game do that much better because of the connections and assets and just knowledge base that we're going to be tapping into, and I have already tapped into from an influencer side and everything else. So anyway, that was the whole like turn down money story. Let's see, we've got, if there's one thing that I'd want to convey to the audience, if you only had one chance, what would it be? Great question. That's a really good question. So if I only had one thing, it would be that this is not your normal NFT. Our NFT, like from the standpoint of just the NFT itself, we're a 3D game ready NFT. Even if you're on OpenSea, your NFT will be 3D. You'll be able to manipulate it right there in the browser, and you're going to see exactly what you'll see in the game. No PFP thing that then has to be redeveloped into a game character or anything like that. But the big thing that I would say, guys, out of that, the one thing is it's not your normal project. Like most of these projects that are launching, and this is no insult, it's just a reality. I've been on the consumer side of it for a long time, buying NFTs and seeing how it all works as well. These people who are launching these projects and these games, they have ideas. They typically have zero business experience. They don't know how to manage cash flow. They don't know how to hire teams. They don't know how to do basically anything that is involved with running a business. Now, the reality is, when you take money from someone to launch a project or whatever, you have a business. Okay. They don't know how to avoid the legal pitfalls. They don't know, like, I've already spent 200 grand on legal teams. Okay. And we haven't even launched the project. Okay. Because that's what it takes to do things right. You can't just launch a token and be in the US and not expect to get in trouble with the SEC. There's a lot of stuff happening that we actually know how to do. Like, I can run a business, and we've done hundreds of millions of dollars in the business world. I know how to hire people. I know how to build teams. I know how to build successful companies. And if my connections in this space are great in all spaces. Like, if I don't know how to do it, I can reach out. I call Roger. Hey, Roger, who do you know that can help me with this? And he's like, oh, talk to this guy. So if I can't do it myself or can't hire the person, I can reach out to people like Roger and other people that I'm friends with who can help me make that connection. That is what I find is the biggest lack in the NFT and crypto gaming space, is just a lack of experience on the business front. And I'll tell you, that's also what the VCs are the most excited about the project. They love the fact that it's a game that people would actually like to play. They love the concept of that, but lots of people have good game ideas, okay? What they like about my project and Mech.Game is what I bring to the table from a how to build a business standpoint, and that's what they want. Because a project that's going to last needs to have someone who knows how to handle the growth piece problems that come forward as you take money, as you build, as you onboard, everything else. Hopefully that was, and I didn't want that to seem too egotistical or anything, but that's honestly, I would say, the big kicker right here. What's the most difficult part that I've faced during development, and how did I overcome these difficulties? So the most difficult thing that I found during this development was, truthfully, was the game tech side of things at first. Until I found Tib, I was like, man, am I going to have to, because I didn't want to partner with a game studio. I wanted to do things a different way. So that was the hard part, was like, I was interviewing all these game studios. And I'm like, I do not like where this is going. I'm not happy. This was really frustrating. And then through a network, I reached out and said, hey, I need some help. I need to find this kind of person. I got connected with Tib, and all of a sudden now I've got this amazing game and level designer guy who can be the product owner while, connecting with all the other people. So that was really hard at first. The other thing that was interesting was, like, I come from a traditional paid media marketing, and obviously the crypto world doesn't react well to paid media from a traditional sense. So that was a big surprise to me as well. And what we did there was we just reached into our network and to our VCs and everything, and they've connected us with influencers and other pieces like that, so we can do the traditional organic and regular growth that NFT and gaming projects use. I am definitely going to be minting a whale shark and joining WhalemakerDAO. I always say DAO because I always think it's more of an acronym than a word. But yes, I will definitely be doing that. I love the concept of Whalemaker, and especially now that I know who's running it, I don't have a choice, right? I heard of Whalemaker prior to this, but I had no idea who it was. Like, it's so funny how small this world is. A lot of people that I know are running really cool projects like what Roger's doing here. So Jordan, who also works with Roger, Jordan used to help run my sales team in my other company before he worked for Roger. I didn't know Jordan was now working with Roger. So it's like, it's been this one ridiculous connection of just small world type of stuff. So,
and whoever asked that question, you're awesome. Thanks for asking.
Yep.
We are about to wrap up. We got time for like one or two more questions. Now, Tanner, Jordan, were there any questions that jumped out at you that were like, wow, that's thought-provoking? I have my favorite, but we do owe someone a whitelist spot for the most thought-provoking question.
Yeah, I'm kind of tied on two right now, and it's some of the last two. Like Headshot asking me, like, what's the one thing? If you had to summarize like everything that you think is important, what would that one thing be? I think that's a really good one. And I also liked Toshiro asking me something that, what didn't work. Everybody talks about what's great, but what was a struggle. So I like both of those.
Well, I mean, you're the doctor here. Do they each get one?
Yeah, let's each give them one. So
All
Toshiro and Headshot each get one. And
Perfect.
then Roger, if you had a different one,
I'm looking at a username. I'm pretty sure I know who that is too. All right.
If you had a different one that you thought was your favorite, we can throw one more at them.
No, Headshots was really the one that I really liked because a lot of them, I mean, we all ask the technical questions. We want to know like the ins and outs, the tokenomics of the game. But then when somebody asks you questions like, ooh, that's bigger than just this.
Yeah, absolutely. And the technical side, guys, if you want to learn a lot more about the technical side, the forging, the minting, all that kind of stuff in the game, go see the link to the white paper. So go to the main white paper, look at game 2 and find the link, and then click over to game 2 white paper and you'll get all the details on that. So yeah, we do have, like I said, one. No, everybody pays the flat fee on the mint. We're gonna favor the whitelist people by letting them mint first and have more time to accommodate for gas fees and stuff like that. But we're definitely not gonna, change the price. Let's see.
That's kind of a big question.
Yeah, I don't know if we could really go through all of that. But yes, we are aware of it, and it is something that we will be. And to be honest, the way we're going to work through it is we're going to be leveraging our brain trust of guys like Roger and Steve and Chris, Mr. Block and Brian, and all the really smart people who, we can pull together and go, okay, what's the best way to mitigate each one of these different factors as they happen. So
yeah, and I see the question in there: will whale sharks get whitelist? Yes, if you go into Seeking Alpha and you verify your whale shark, there's a special channel in there for our partner whitelist projects that you have access to that the general public doesn't. Tanner, this game looks awesome. It looks like one that people actually want to play, which is sick. I know a lot of the investors behind it, and when I see them come into something, I know it's going to be big. I've known you for years. I know what you work on. You put everything, your heart and soul and everything into it, which is what creators need to do in this space. Especially with the market down, the people that are building today in a down market are usually the ones that win, because now is when most people give up. They throw in the towel and they say this doesn't work. Everybody else doubles down and they're like, on the other side of this is where the money is. So continue to follow this project. Join the Seeking Alpha server. Join the Mech.Game server. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, and we will see you on the next AMA. Tanner, final thoughts are yours.
Guys, really enjoyed being here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening to me babble. Roger, appreciate all the kind words you just said. But yeah, if any questions, any whatever, I'm super involved in. I'm going to be more in the Whalemaker channel now, but also if you're in the Mech.Game one, if you have questions, more stuff, hit me. If you need to talk to me personally, just throw a support ticket in the channel. I answer those, and if you need something, let me know. I'm open.
We appreciate it. For those of you that are whale shark owners, Alpha Chat is starting in 2 minutes. I've been on the phone since 6:30 a.m. I would like to go to the bathroom. As soon as I'm back, we'll launch it. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See ya.